your mission, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
Hello there. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to And I Quote, the weekly show where we introduce you to a special guest who is joining us from any and all corners of the nerd universe. We sit down, we have a friendly conversation, we find out what projects they have coming down the line. So thank you for joining us. My name is Ryan of Nerd Culture, and our guest this week is one half of one of the most popular and fastest growing YouTube channels in the universe today. She is the better half of the dynamic duo known as the Gastlecast. Please welcome the queen of the castle. Heather Gast is here with us. Heather, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, if you have any questions for our guest, Heather Gast, boy, that's a tongue twister, leave any and all your thoughts in the comment section in the live chat below. Our producers are going to be monitoring it as we go throughout the course of the program. But in the meantime, Heather, here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit back. I want you to jump into our DeLorean time machine. We're going to go 88 miles per hour, and I'm going to ask you some serious questions. So first things first here, Heather, what would you say were some of your favorite movies or TV series while you were growing up?
Oh, while I was growing up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my. Well, it's really funny you say that because right before we came on, we were talking about my shirt, and it's a Funko White Rabbit shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Alice in Wonderland was one of my favorite movies growing up. So was The Brave Little Toaster, and I even had like a yellow blanket. I don't think it was really related to The Brave Little Toaster, but it reminds me of The Brave Little Toaster. I was a Nickelodeon kid. I loved Rugrats, all that, Doug, Angry Beavers, Hey Arnold, all of those.
Excellent, excellent options. As a 90s kid myself, I've heard of those names. And yes, I've been witness to many of those episodes of certain series with featuring certain characters and all that good stuff. That is very, very true. Now, I'm just curious. Did you have any favorite comic books growing up, or do you have any favorite comic book writers or artists that stick out to you, or is comics not really your forte?
That is so funny you say that. I am not really super interested in comics. I did used to read the comic strips in newspapers. But outside of that, I never was super into comics. I have read some of the Walking Dead ones, but that's really my exception.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So since comics isn't really your forte, is it more of Chris's thing, or is Chris not much of a comic fan either?
He doesn't read.
He doesn't read. Wow.
No.
He does a show about characters that have been made very popular by Marvel, DC, and independent comics, and yet he hasn't read a single one. Gee willikers, how do you people live with yourselves on YouTube? No, I'm kidding. Look, there's a lot of us that didn't read comics growing up. Some of us don't even read them now. But I'll be honest, I wasn't a comics fan myself until 2017, known as Batman Day, showed up on my front door. Friends took me to a comic shop, and I haven't regretted it since. But hey, sometimes comics aren't for everybody.
Yeah, he gets his comic information from like Wikipedia and stuff. So
yeah,
he won't
aka the
read
Cliff Notes
comic.
version.
Yeah, he doesn't read the comic, but he'll read about the comic. I'm like, how does that even make sense?
That is a good. I think the Gastlecast understands what I'm saying because I'm seeing them popping up here in the chat. Hello, you lovelies. Thank you all for, man, there's a bunch of you in here, and thank you so much for being with us. We will get to your questions. If you have any for Heather, feel free to drop them like it's hot in the comment section in the live chat. We'll get to them a little bit later. So aside from the comics part of life, I'm just curious here. Heather, what was your first ever Comic-Con?
My first ever Comic-Con was Baltimore Comic-Con in, I think it may have been 2016.
Ooh.
Yeah, Chris one day was like, hey, I've never been to a Comic-Con, but I'd really like to go. Do you want to go to Baltimore Comic-Con? It's like 25 minutes away from us. I was like, sure, that sounds fun. And we went and we loved it.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Any particular memories from that first Comic Con stick out, other than just being in awe of the greatness that is comic book conventions?
Oh my goodness, we have been to so many that I don't really remember what all we did at that particular one. I just remember walking in and I felt like a kid in a toy store.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like wide-eyed and just in awe at how huge it was and how much fun it was.
Oh, okay. That is some good stuff. There's no question about it. Now, who do you hope to meet at conventions in the future now that Earth is slowly but surely starting to reopen?
Ooh, who do I want to meet?
Mm-hmm.
That is a good question. So I would like to meet the Office cast.
Ah.
In particular, I don't really have anyone in mind particularly. I really happen to love all of the characters that I've met so far. I just started watching The Office in August and I love it. Umbrella Academy as well. That would be a lot of fun to meet some of those actors and actresses.
Well, speaking of the Umbrella Academy, if I'm remembering this correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, live chat, as well as you, Heather,
Okay.
didn't $7 a pop recently do a signature series featuring the cast of Umbrella Academy?
Yes, and I actually got assigned Klaus.
Oh, did you?
Yes, it's beautiful. It's around here somewhere, but I don't. You know what? Chris may have thrown it in my room, but his signature is so pretty, and he used a pink paint pen, which matches his Funko Pop because he's wearing like a fuzzy pink vest sort of thing. So, yeah, I am not one to spend a lot of money on Funko Pops, but I had to have that.
I mean, this, when it comes to certain pops and the signature series from $7bucksapop.com, one of the best websites in the world today, you really can't go wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's just my 2 cents on that. Now, speaking of something known as Funko Pops, let's go in the Wayback Machine for a minute again. What was the first Funko Pop you ever bought?
My first Funko Pop was an Amazon exclusive Invisible Demiguise from Fantastic Beasts. And it doesn't have the Amazon sticker, which is weird, but it was an Amazon exclusive. I remember getting the box and I took a pen and I sort of like cut the tape open. But as I was doing that, I left a pen mark on the top of the box. So Chris was really mad about it. He's like, you shouldn't have opened it with a pen. I was like, I don't really care about the box. He said, no, the box is part of the collectible. And I was like, oh, okay. I will remember this for the future. So that was my first pop, but I didn't start actually collecting for quite a while after that.
That actually segues into the next question. How long specifically have you been collecting something known as Funko Pops, which have become an obsession between you and the love of your life?
So Chris started late 2015 and I started, I would say somewhere around like the summer or fall of 2016. I started collecting. I mean, I probably wouldn't have started if I hadn't met Chris, but I started because my job was very flexible. I worked mostly evenings and he worked during the day. So he would say, hey, Heather, there's going to be a release today. Could you go and look for this? And I would say, okay. And I met so many people just like waiting in lines outside of stores and stuff. And I was like, man, this is pretty fun. And that made me want to start collecting.
Oh my goodness. It's been around 5 years. It's a nice round number.
Yeah, it's been quite a while, and our collection definitely shows 5 years worth of collectibles, maybe even 10.
Yeah, it may be 5 years in human years, but in Funko years, it must be like 25. I mean, does anyone keep count of that? I mean, Jason Swoboda, if you're watching this, let us know. If someone's been collecting for 5 years, what does that mean in Funko years? Is there a difference between the two, or am I misreading the lines, or am I misreading this whole situation? And I apologize if I am. Goodness gracious. Now, when did you decide to become a podcaster here, Heather?
Ooh, you're talking about the Gastlecast?
Yep, whether it's that or stuff you've done outside of the Gastlecast.
Okay, so as far as the Gastlecast goes, we started doing podcasts where it's just audio only on a podcast called the Gastlecast. With some of our friends. After a big movie premiere, we would go into our basement and sit around a table with a bunch of our friends and microphones, and we would just talk about the movie. And one day, Chris won it was like Funko Fanatic of the Month or so. Or no, it was Marvel Collector Course Funko Fanatic or something. He won that, and when he got the package in, he said, I don't know what's in here, but I think it would be really cool to open on YouTube. And I was like, okay. So we opened it on YouTube. And about a week or two later, he looks at me and he says, you might think I'm really crazy, but I would like to continue to make videos. I had a lot of fun doing that. And I said, I don't think you're crazy, but I don't know how much I want to do that. Like, I was not comfortable in front of the camera at all. It freaked me out knowing that like anyone could view what we were doing. And we just started doing it. And I mean, if you go back and watch our first video versus a video that we posted, say like this week, it's crazy how much our channel has grown, but not only that, how much Chris and I have grown and sort of blossomed into these like almost characters in front of a camera. It's really sort of strange. And I also have my own podcast called The Office Orientation that I decided to start doing during the pandemic. I had never seen The Office before, never seen one episode. And I said, I would like to watch The Office, but I think it would be really cool to like document it. So I started my podcast in August, and I'm on season 3 of The Office, and I'm enjoying it.
Well, that is just spectacular. I mean, this memo right here in front of me is so important that I should run to answer it. No, I'm sorry. I'm kidding. No, sir. No signs of life down here. Anyhow, aside from... Oh, Lord. Aside from Dundler Mifflin Paper Company or whatever it's called on The Office, because no one behaves like that in a real office, do they?
I don't think
maybe
so. Maybe
they do out in some other parts of the country or the world. Maybe we're just, I'm not sure. If anyone knows about this, let us know in the chat because I'm seeing a boatload of you comment. And thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions for our lovely guest, Heather Gast, drop them in the comment section. We'll get to them a little bit later. Now, going along with that, Heather, when it comes to podcasting, what would you say are some of the rewards of being a podcaster in general?
Oh, good question.
That's why I'm here.
Oh my.
Where's the George Takei sound effect when you need it? Oh my. Anyway, proceed, Heather.
That is some rewards. Goodness. I would say like more along the lines of personal growth. I find that I've never been a very outgoing person. I'm sort of reserved, I think, but I definitely am a lot more comfortable in front of people now. I think that that's pretty cool. But with what we do in particular, you know, we don't just have a YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel, but we've also tried to build this community of collectors helping collectors. And I think we have a Facebook group, and when I see people showing off like what someone in the group got them, especially like harder to find items, it makes it feel worth it, if that makes sense. Like, it's fun being in front of a camera and like being wacky and trying to make people laugh. And the most rewarding aspect of it is just bringing collectors together and watching our motto, "We hunt together," come to life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, I'm sure you've put, what is it? "We hunt together." Yes, has been written on multiple t-shirts.
Yes.
And if it hasn't yet, get on it, folks. We need more T-shirts like that in the world. We appreciate it. No, that makes a whole lot of sense. And speaking of collectors, just to give a little peek behind the curtain here on the Gastlecast, we hunt together. And by the way, links to all this stuff is in the description of this very video. So, what's his name? Ronaldo has gotten me a number of things in the course of that group. So yeah, thanks, Gastlecast. We hunt together. You've taken a lot of my money in the best way possible. In the best way possible.
He is so incredible, and so are a lot of our members. But I mean, you'll see a bunch of people posting, "Hey, I'm at Target. Is there anything in this picture that you see that you need? I'll pick it up for cost and shipping for you." It's a lot of fun. I really, it makes me happy to see that.
Of course. Now, on the flip side of this whole situation, what would you say are some of the challenges of being a podcaster?
Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah. We've gone past the 2-3 minute mark. We can drop a few curse words here and there. It's okay. We normally keep this PG-13, but it's fine. You can drop a few curse words. It's fine.
Well, I think this is PG-13. I'm pretty sure
it's
they
fine.
allow this word
we're
on
mature
cable.
adults here. We're past the 2 minute mark, as they say in the FCC regulation. So go ahead, Heather. What would you say are the challenges of being a podcaster? Curse away.
Assholes. So for the most part, we receive very positive comments, but sometimes we receive critiques, which I can stand a critique, that's fine. But then there's some people that are like downright ugly, and they'll like insult us in personal ways. And that is like just, it's sort of disgusting to me. Like, I can't imagine myself taking time out of my day if I see a video that I don't like, making a rude comment to somebody. Like, okay, so this is why it irritates me so bad. Chris works a full-time job.
Yes.
And when he gets home from work, we sit down and we record, and it takes, I don't know, 20 to 60 minutes a day. And then he works his butt off editing our YouTube videos.
Yep.
And for someone to come in and just like crap all over it is just so ugly and annoying and ugh. But I don't let it get to me. It's just annoying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess in a way it's kind of helps to develop a thick skin. Don't let the negativity get to you. Just kind of brush it off, move on to something else, or focus on making content that entertains millions and millions of collectors out there, or fans in general, I should say. To be more general, I'm just going to say fans because that's the better word to use. But you see what I'm getting at with this.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So to me, it says more about them than it does about me. Like, you really you feel so bad about yourself that you have to try to bring others down to your level, but I don't really let it get to me. It's just more so annoying.
Right. Annoying. We've heard that word before. Yes. No, we've heard that word numerous times. We've gotten I think it's fair to say most YouTube channels, people who are podcasts, whatever, are going to get some shade or negative comments thrown at them, but you just got to say to yourself, brush it off. Who cares? If you make one person smile, you make one person laugh, you've done your job. If you make 100 people laugh, you've done your job. If someone's giving you shade, who cares? I mean, hey, you know what? If someone does throw some negative comments at you, it means you're doing your job right. It's like, hey, if you get positive and negative feedback, it means you're doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, at least people are watching. Even those negative Nancy's get us a view. So
yeah, I guess, what is it, the old saying, any publicity is good publicity, I suppose? I'm not sure. I guess it depends on the person you ask or the channel that you're subscribed to, whether it be YouTube or a streaming service or otherwise. I'm just pointing it out there. But hey, we're all here, right? Rising tide raises all ships, Heather. So let's just keep that in mind as we go on. Now I know this is a bit of a tougher thing to answer, but I'll throw it out to you anyway. Any special memories from your show, the Gastlecast, thus far, or meeting other people at events or conventions when you're there, you know, getting B-roll for the Gastlecast, or you're there as an attendee at conventions or other events?
Oh my gosh. So I love going to events, period. Some people will recognize us and say, hey, what's up, Chris and Heather? And I feel sort of like a jerk because I'm like, hold on, I'm really bad with faces. Who are you? Like, it's just both Chris and I are really, really bad at recognizing people and putting faces to names. So we do our best to, like, when we meet somebody and say, oh, hey, so like we'll use their name to try to remember it, but that never really happens because we'll see them at another event down the line and I'm like, I don't remember you. I'm so sorry. But as far as like memories from doing the videos and stuff on our channel, man, my favorite videos that we do are videos we've done with our friends. We've done a couple of skits with our friends. We did one, I would say it's probably one of the most memorable, was our Cribs version of the Gastlecast. So we basically gave everyone a tour of our last house, and we need to make one for our new house, but we had help from a couple of our friends, and it was a blast.
I think I remember watching that video and liking or commenting on it.
It was so much fun.
I enjoyed watching that. I hope to see. I cannot wait for, what is it, the Gastlecast Cribs 2.0 version.
Hey,
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
The title.
Okay, there you go. So do I get a finder's fee?
Yes, you absolutely
okay.
do. Royalties.
Right. There you go. Royalties. Thank you. Yeah. So drop me a message on Messenger, which you obviously have because you and I are BFFs on Facebook. So hit me up when it goes up and things of that nature, and I'll take notes. It'll be fine, no problem. So there are two sides to every story, but I've heard Chris's version. Now I would like to hear your version. How did the Gastlecast become the Gastlecast? AKA, how did you two meet? How did this romance blossom into a lovely forever after?
Wait, so how did Chris and I meet?
Yes. How did it start? How did it start between the two lovely people such as yourself and Chris? Well, I don't know if Chris is lovely or anything, but I want to hear your side of this story. How did you two meet? How did this romance blossom?
Okay, so I do have to say there are definitely two sides to every story because he remembers it one way and I remember it completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So goodness, I do not drink at all. So I'm going to preface this by saying whenever I talk about being at a bar with Chris, he had been drinking quite a bit and I did not. So that's, I think, where our stories differ. So the first time we met, actually, God, this is such a long story, Ryan. Are you sure we have time for this?
No, it's fine. We're at the 22-minute mark. The show normally goes, just to give everyone a peek behind the curtain, the show normally goes between 45 minutes and an hour. So go ahead. Just
perfect. Well, I'm
explain away because I'm sure the audience is urging to hear this.
So back in like 2008 or 2009, I went to a house party at my friend Andrew's house. And I remember walking through the front door, and when you walk through the front door, you could see the back door, and the back door, for whatever reason, was open. And all I remember seeing was some like drunken, like weirdo jump on his friend's back. And he was like, I don't know, just saying some sort of like drunk nonsense. And I was like, ew, what a party animal. Like, it's only 9 o'clock. He's wasted. What's happening? And I didn't really think much of it. So then one night, my friend Andrew, whose house I had been at before, he said, hey, I'm going to my friend Chris's house. He's having a party tonight. So I went to Chris's house, and I actually talked to Chris for like, I don't know, maybe a few minutes. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's that guy that was drunk on his friend's back at Andrew's party a few weeks ago. So I didn't really think anything at all of it. He was with somebody. He was actually married or about to get married. And I don't know, I was single, and that was fun. So fast forward to 2014, one of my friends invited me out to a bar one night. And I was like, yeah, I'll come, but I got work in the morning, so I'm not going to stay long. Well, he took me outside, and he was like, oh my gosh, everybody's here. And he's like, our friend Josh is here, and so-and-so is here, and this person's here. And he's like, do you remember Chris Gast? I said, the name sounds familiar. I don't know. So we walked over to Chris and just said hey to him. And I was like, oh, I do remember him. I went to his house a long time ago, and he's the guy that was on his friend's back. So Chris ended up friend requesting me. And I was like, man, do I really want to accept this? Because I was sort of weird about adding people at the time. I'll never see him again, will I? And I was like, whatever, I'll add him. And if we never interact, I'll just delete him. Who cares? Well, he started messaging me, and it turned out he was sort of into me.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me to go back to that same bar one night. And I was like, okay. So we were hanging out, and he was interested in me, but like I sort of wasn't, because he was a drinker. I wasn't. And I'm not really like into that party lifestyle, but I'm fine hanging out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it started raining and we were outside, and they had this like tent.
Oh.
And we went under there, and he was a smoker at the time, which is another thing that I dislike a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember him. He was like, you're so pretty. I would like to go on a date with you, blah, blah, blah. And he ended up, like, when he was done with his cigarette, I think he just flicked it to the ground. But I thought that he did a magic trick.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really impressed. I was like, did you just do a magic trick? And of course he had a few beers, and I was like, and he was like, oh yeah, but he didn't. He just put his cigarette on the ground. But fun fact about me, I love magic. So that was like an in.
Mm-hmm.
So then, a few weeks later, he talked me into going on a date with him, but really we just went to his house and made homemade Qdoba, and then we fell in love from there. He made the chicken and I made the rice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good combination, right? Like peas and carrots. You can't go wrong with Qdoba.
That's my favorite place.
Is it now? Is that your number one favorite place to grab some grub any day of the week and twice on a Sunday?
Seriously, I go there at least once a week.
Really? Okay, so Qdoba,
Yes.
if you're watching this and Gastlecast is looking for more great sponsorships, hit up the Gastlecast because they love Qdoba, specifically the queen of the castle known as Heather Gast. Hit her up. Goodness gracious, Qdoba. Okay.
It's my favorite.
Qdoba. Hey, I've seen plenty of events, plenty of conventions have Qdobas, whether it's a sponsor or they have, what do you call those things? At the food court. It's always sitting there somewhere.
It's so good.
It's always somewhere, isn't it? I mean, I'm just, gosh, Qdoba. It's a cool name too. Qdoba. What's that? I'm just kind of rolls off the tongue really well. I don't know.
It does. It's great.
I'm not sure if they made. I'm not sure. Do you know if Qdoba has a mascot? And if they do, have they made a Funko Pop out of that mascot?
I don't think they have a mascot, and there is no Funko Pop. I do reckon. I think there's like a big Q that's sort of like a Qdoba thing.
I don't know. I just tried to make a horrible hand gesture of what that would look like. I'm sorry. If they make a Funko Pop out of that, we know who the first customer who's going to purchase that Funko Pop, and we're looking at her right now.
Yes.
So I'm just saying. Oh, gee whiz. Well, that is some great romance if I ever heard it. And by the way, I'm going to give you some information about myself. Heather and I have something in common. That is, we're not big on the whole going to a bar and having a drink scene. Me personally, I don't drink myself. Do I smoke them if I got them? No, I don't. And I'm not into that either. So for me, that's kind of a turnoff if I'm seeing somebody. But you know what? Everyone's got their likes and dislikes, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I mean, true love beat out my dislike for cigarettes. So, and he doesn't smoke anymore. So that's a win.
Oh, there you go. So, your magical powers and influence are rubbing off on him. So there you go.
Maybe.
Jedi mind tricks? Maybe. I'm not sure.
Possibly.
But my goodness gracious. That is a heck of a that's a heck of a story if I ever heard one. But I appreciate you sharing that with us because people are chiming in the chat here, which I'm going to bring up a few of these comments in just a moment. But my goodness, they love hearing your stories. Goodness
Surprised
gracious.
they're not falling asleep.
No, they are not falling asleep, not in the slightest. This comment section and live chat is booming, and we really appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. We truly do. So let's see here. Heather, without going into spoilers, I'm just curious, have you seen The Widow of the Black, aka Black Widow, and if so, did you like it or not?
Yes, I saw it, and there's a lot of people, especially in the world of nerdiness, I guess, that are very, very harsh film critics. When I watch a movie, I like to sit down and enjoy it. And I sat down and I enjoyed it. I don't really have any major critiques. I know there's a lot of people that do, but it entertained me, and I had fun watching it. And that's all that matters to me.
No, that's completely fair. And we actually did a spoiler-heavy review on another show that I do. It's a bi-weekly show called Geek at Birth. Speaking of nerdiness, we did a spoiler-heavy review of both Black Widow, and my co-host, he saw this movie, I didn't, and that is specifically Space Jam: A New Legacy, a movie that nobody asked for, but they made it anyway. I don't get it either. So if you want to check it out, that's on the Geek at Birth Facebook page and the YouTube channel, or excuse me, the Unrelated at Birth YouTube channel. So feel free to check that out as well. Plug. So Black Widow, I liked it. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but I liked it. I was entertained by it, and the hard-hitting action sequences were badass. So
yes.
I'm not going to say no to Florence Pugh, who goes from playing Paige, WWE superstar in the biopic Fighting with My Family, to laying the smackdown as Yelena in Black Widow. Can't say no to Florence Pugh.
Oh yeah.
I really can't. But yeah, Black Widow was a good film. I actually enjoyed it more so than some of the other MCU movies. I think it's a bit better than some of the other ones. So I'll give credit where credit is due. Nice work, ScarJo and company, even though it was more of a Florence Pugh movie than a ScarJo movie. Let's be honest, because they're trying to make waves for her to be potentially a new character that's going to take over the MCU. I don't know. Maybe not.
I hope so.
We shall see. That. We shall see without going into spoilers. Yeah. Anyhow, any movies coming out in 2021 that you're looking forward to seeing, Heather? Ones that haven't come out yet, but you're looking forward to catching on a streaming service or at a drive-in or your local theater?
The one that I am most looking forward to is Candyman.
I believe it's the reboot from Jordan Peele.
I think it is a Jordan Peele movie, and I'll be honest, I haven't read too much on it. I don't know if it's like being redone or if it's a sequel or prequel or anything. But I love Candyman, and I'm just excited to see what's going to be done. A lot of people, always say, well, why remake something when the original was so good? They normally ruin it, which is the case for some films. But I think that they're going to do this one justice. And I believe Tony Todd's in it, the original Candyman. So I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the gentleman's name who was the original Candyman. Thank you for bringing that up. I do appreciate it. Tony Todd, yes. Trailer looks good. I like what I've seen. I'll probably check it out at some point or another. Don't know if I'll do it on, opening weekend per se. But I will check it out somewhere down the line. I'm not sure specifically when. I can't give you a specific date on that. I apologize. But check it out when the time arises. Now, speaking of horror/thriller, I'm just curious, and this is something that I'm sure the millions and millions of fans out there are wondering. Monster Mania is coming back to Hunt Valley, Maryland in the month of September, the latter part of September of 2021. It is going to be in person. They've dropped a number of names that are going to be appearing at Monster Mania 2021. The question on everyone's mind is the Gastlecast going to make an appearance at Monster Mania 2021 in Hunt Valley, Maryland?
So that is one of my favorite conventions because I love horror. However, I'm being very cautious. I don't really know what's going to be happening with the pandemic and everything that's going on then. So I'm hoping to go, but it just depends on how things are looking, I guess. Okay. And Chris might fist fight me on, not actually fist fight me, but he might fight me on that. But I just want to be safe.
Of course. No, of course. I completely understand that. Well, if you make an appearance, that's great. If you decide not to, We understand. It's okay. The earth is slowly but surely starting to reopen, but then again, it could go into lockdown for all we know in a few months. We don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
We really just don't bloody know. But we shall see. And anyhow, that's my terrible attempt at an accent. I apologize if I'm butchering it. If I did it wrong, let me know in the comment section. I do apologize to our viewers who may be from overseas.
I thought it was beautiful.
Thank you. You know, this is what happens when you do high school theater as a youngin', and then when you do a little bit of college theater, I try to do my best.
You did good.
I mean, you know, at one point in my life, I did want to become the next big thing as an actor, but then I realized you have to go through like a million no's before you get your first yes. And I thought, you know what? That's not for me. I'm just going to share my thoughts and opinions that because I love movies so much. Just be a podcaster. Hey, that works because then you don't have to worry about Spielberg breathing down your neck saying, I want you to do it again, this time more aggression. No, I don't want to hear that, Spielberg. I don't want to hear that. I'm going to make the show that I want to make, and I want to entertain the millions and millions of people out there the way I see fit. If they like it, that's great. If they don't, hey, if you love what you do, it's not called work.
Exactly.
That's what I was taught when I was a young Padawan. Granted, I didn't grow up on Coruscant because a lot of bad stuff happened on Coruscant if you watch the prequel trilogy. But it's probably gotten better now. You know, a lot of things have changed in the last 45 years.
Maybe.
So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Thank you for the comments in the comment section below. We'll get to those a bit later. If you have any questions for Heather, which she's more than welcome to take more questions, feel free to drop them in the live chat. We love hearing from you. So Heather, let's have a bit of fun here with this one.
Okay.
What is the dumbest way you've been injured?
The dumbest. Okay.
Yeah.
This is really embarrassing.
It's okay.
So we grill all the time. We grill if it's 1,000,000 degrees outside, and we grill if it's negative degrees outside. Well, it doesn't really get negative in Maryland, but really, really cold. We'll grill outside. So one summer night, I grilled, and we had a grill cover. So we would pull it off, grill, let the grill cool down, and then put it back on.
Yep.
I have a really bad habit of not putting the cover back on. So I just left it off one time. And like a week later, we were hanging out back with one of our friends, and I noticed that the grill cover was off. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've left it off this long. So I went to lift it up and put it back on.
Mm-hmm.
A little mouse or chipmunk or something ran out. It scared me so bad. I jumped and I rolled my ankle. And it was one of those things. Do you ever watch Family Guy?
Yeah, a bit of it, yeah.
Oh, so they do that bit where like somebody falls or whatever, and they're like, ah. It was one of those injuries. It was so bad. Like I was trying my best to keep a brave face, but it hurt so freaking bad. And we had like a friend over who I had never met before. It was one of Chris's old friends. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I really got to be strong right now, but it hurt really bad. So it started to feel better. And then if I stood on it too long at work, it would start to hurt again. And this went on for like 6 months. And finally I was like, it's not better. I need to go to the doctor. I don't know if something happened that day. So I went to the doctor, and it turns out I sprained my ankle. Oh. And I was walking on it for about 6 months, but he gave me a, what's it called? A brace. Yeah. And within like a week or two, I was fine.
Oh my goodness. Oof.
Yeah. Stupid. All because of some little mouse.
It's a little mouse. Let's hope it's not one of the little. Let's hope it's not one of the little ones they found in The Secret of NIMH. Granted, that's an animated film compared to live action, but I digress. Creepy stuff happened in that film. Remember The Secret of NIMH as a kid? Ooh.
No, I never watched it.
Okay, you have some homework to do after this program. It's called The Secret of NIMH from Don Bluth. Came out in the late 80s, early 90s. Check it out. It is a creepy film for a PG film, but check it out anyway. You, Chris, maybe Maximus. Maybe he'll like it. Maybe he'll think, why did we watch this? But I'll leave that up to you. I'm not really sure. But Secret of NIMH from the late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in there. I apologize if I'm not exactly sure the movie release date. That's more of a Scott Mantz thing on Twitter. But check it out there. Wow, that's an interesting injury. So what's something that I would never guess about you, Heather? Fun fact about yourself that we would never guess about you.
Oh, my goodness. Fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have fun facts. Oh my goodness. Ooh, this is really hard. This is surprisingly hard.
Insert Jeopardy theme here, Johnny.
Oh my. Um, I am a plant addict.
Oh.
I love plants. I love gardening and I love like indoor plants. I use a lot of fresh herbs when I cook and just regular house plants just to look at.
That
I
works.
I don't think too many people know that unless they've been in my house, but hardly anyone's been in my house because we moved here in October and haven't really been hanging out with too many people since last year.
Yeah, since the world kind of almost ended.
Yeah.
I know that's a poor attempt at humor. I'm not trying to make light of it, but still.
No, it's not a poor attempt. It's
if you've seen enough dystopian future time travel movies, you understand what I'm saying. Have you ever seen the movie The Book of Eli with Denzel Washington? Goodness gracious, that's a great dystopian future film.
I have not, but honestly, I'm very scared to watch any movies like that because we're living in a very strange time.
It's a bit off-putting, so if you want to put that in your watch later when the world goes back to normal list, starring Denzel Washington, Mila Kunis, and Gary Oldman are in this film, so feel free to look up The Book of Eli on Wikipedia, even though don't look at the spoilers, because it's a great plot. It's a great plot.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm just pointing that out there as a for instance. If anyone else has had experience with The Book of Eli from Denzel Washington, let us know in the chat. Love to hear from you. Anywho, aside from being a plant fan or planting, gardening, that sort of stuff, which I'm sure you've watched plenty of HGTV and that sort of thing, what is something that you get wrong almost every time you do it, Heather?
Oh, goodness. Making the bed. I'm really bad at that. I wish I could do that perfectly and do like a hotel bed setup, but I can't. I just sort of do my best and call it a day. I also, another thing that I tend to get wrong is like making chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a great cook, but chicken is like my weakness because I'm so scared of undercooking it that I tend to overcook it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that being a bit troublesome.
It's stupid.
Chicken. Don't you just wish we had those things they had in Back to the Future Part 2, a hydrator like cookie machine where she says, hydrate level 4, please. And then the pizza comes out all ready to go. Do you remember that scene in Back to the Future Part 2?
Yes,
Part 2?
I would love that.
Yeah. Can we have one of those? And I believe, what was the company that made it? Home and Black and Decker? Yeah. If we have any of those, can someone make that, please, and make it a reality? Because it would make pizzas a lot easier to make.
It really would. Although I am good at pizza. I'm good at making pizza or ordering pizza.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what do you prefer, making the pizza yourself or ordering in the pizza? That was going to be my next question.
Oh, ordering it is so much easier, but it's always fun to make a pizza on your own.
That's fair. Now, do you prefer to make the pizza from scratch, or do you prefer to use our good friends? It's not delivery. It's DiGiorno. What do you prefer?
I hate DiGiorno pizzas.
Oh, we got some haters in the house. Okay, no, that's
this is like the weirdest thing, but they make me feel weird. Like they give me the hiccups.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
A baking powder? They give you the hiccups?
Only DiGiorno pizzas give me the hiccups. Other brands of frozen pizza does not give me the hiccups. DiGiorno gives me the hiccups. It's weird. We don't do DiGiorno in this house. But I'm okay with certain frozen pizzas. There's a really good one at BJ's where I think it's like feta cheese and spinach. That's really good. But
not so big on the spinach part, but okay. I can see part of that. I'm not a spinach fan, I'll be honest with you, but interesting. Goodness gracious. You and certain pizzas that give you hiccups. That is one for the books.
It's weird. I don't know.
It's certainly one for the books. Now, Wow, man, the food stuff, the YouTube stuff. Where else can we go with this series of questions? Oh, yeah, here's one. Now, with all the experience you and Chris have had with Gastlecast and your offshoots of the Gastlecast, you're doing a podcast focusing on The Office. Has any of this love of pop culture influenced your little one at all? You know, Max, is Max a big fan of collecting certain things like the two of you are, or does he do his own thing?
Oh my gosh, he collects Funko Pops, and he is very into a lot of the things that we're into, which is really super cool. Chris and him share their love for Marvel, Star Wars, Back to the Future is a huge one. And I share my love with Max for, we just got Paramount Plus about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So he and I have been checking that out, and he's fallen in love with a lot of the shows that I watched as a kid. He loves Rugrats. I just started watching The Amanda Show with him, which I don't know if you remember that, but it was Amanda Bynes' sketch show. Yep. He is loving that so much. And yeah, I think that what we like has a huge influence on him. And he does his own stuff as well. So he's very well-rounded.
Isn't that special? No, that's great. No, seriously, that's great. Now, you mentioned Paramount Plus. I'm just curious, are you going to introduce him to the other thing that has the first name Star in it? Have you introduced him to Star Trek, or is he strictly Star Wars and nothing else?
Chris and I are not Star Trek fans. I personally have never watched it, and I can't speak for Chris. I'm very weird about sci-fi. Some sci-fi I can do, other sci-fi I'm not interested in. I've never even tried to watch it, so I can't say whether I would like it or not. But I would like to at least give it a try sometime.
You know, Heather, I said the same thing many eons ago. I said to myself, I grew up on the wars, not the Trek. And then one day, this little thing happened called the pandemic. And I found myself watching tons and tons of movies, right? Because you have all this free time on your hands. So I went ahead and I bought a number of movies from our good friends at hashtag not a sponsor known as Amazon. I don't know if you've heard of Amazon or not. But Amazon has these things called Blu-rays, and I found myself buying a cajillion of them. And one of them was the 10-movie set of the original Star Trek movies starring William Shatner and Patrick Stewart, a.k.a. Professor Charles Xavier, for those of us who grew up on the 2000s X-Men movies. So I went ahead, I sat down, I watched those, and after watching a few of them, not all of them, some were better than others. To me, the Star Trek movie franchise, same thing as Star Wars. It's a roller coaster. It has its peaks and it has its valleys. It has good times, and it certainly has bad times. I'm looking at you, Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. But the one film that stood out to me as my favorite, Heather, with all due respect to Star Trek First Contact, starring Patrick Stewart, Brent Spiner, Jonathan Frakes, yada, 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 the list goes on and on. That is my favorite Star Trek movie, so much so that I have my first ever theatrical size poster framed from our good friend at Michael's, hashtag not a sponsor, on my wall. That is the first movie poster that I've ever gotten framed and put on my wall, is Star Trek First Contact. So Heather, if you're going to give Star Trek any time of day or night, no offense, give Star Trek First Contact a chance, because I truly believe that you will live long and prosper by watching that movie. Star Trek First Contact, came out in the year of our Lord, 1996. It turns 25 this year in November.
Wow.
So, there you go, Heather. That is something that you, Chris, and even Max, I think, would get a kick out of. Plus, when you got Patrick Stewart at the helm of a movie, you can't go wrong.
Very true. You have a good point.
Yeah, at least in my expert, professional opinion.
And that's a standalone. We could just watch it.
I mean, if you watch the series, it helps, but at the same time, you don't have to, because this movie is definitely a standalone, and it gives you flashbacks as to how certain events from the series line up with this movie. So yeah, you'll get it.
Cool.
It's a standalone. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, feel free to add that to your to-do list. As I see you have a lovely sheet of paper and a lovely pen in front of you. So clearly you're taking excellent notes.
I am taking notes. I have a couple movies written down, a couple homeworks.
This is fantastic. Your penmanship must be extraordinary.
No, it's horrible.
No, it's more like chicken scratch. Don't ask me why. No, it's fine. It's fine. Hey, you should see my handwriting. It looks like a 5-year-old wrote it.
That's what mine looks like sometimes. Sometimes it's all right. Sometimes when I'm taking notes, it's horrible.
When you have them in front of you during tapings or during productions of videos, does Chris ever look at you and say, Heather, I can't read this. What is that?
We don't take notes.
Okay.
We don't. Yeah, we don't.
I'm
take
just wondering
notes.
if he's ever said that. I'm just wondering if he's ever said anything either behind the camera or in front of the camera about your penmanship.
No, he surprisingly he has not, but I think it's because mine is legible, where his is very hard to read. So if he insulted mine, I mean, I don't even know what he would be able to say about his.
This is probably
He can't even read his own handwriting.
Oh, geez. Well, this is probably a silly question, but what do you think is more popular on your channel, the Gastlecast in general? Do you think the whole, that is trash? Or is you telling stories about, hey, Chris, this floor's not clean. This floor's dirty. Now you got to pick it all up and clean it. Because I've seen you mention that in one or two of your videos. You look, because you guys make messes when you're opening certain mystery boxes or mystery grails. And by the way, Heather, you're the one who goes after all the candy on mystery grail. That is for darn sure. But you always seem to look at Chris, and sometimes you and Chris have these weird exchanges where you look into each other's eyes and you say to yourselves, Chris, why is this floor all dirty? When are you going to clean it up? Because you're the one who made the mess. Like, do you ever find yourself wondering why you have such arguments?
You know, why we have such arguments is because there's literally like pop boxes everywhere. And even though like a lot of our pops are out of box, he's still a box freak a little bit. And he would lose his mind if I stepped on any of them. But it's so easy to step on them when they're freaking all over the floor.
Oh, he buys all these products, and yet he doesn't clean up after himself.
Nope, never.
I take it that's one of the things that you two argue about in the Gastle Cave?
Honestly, we don't argue too much. Like, we more often than not like poke fun at each other, but I would say probably one of my biggest grievances is the fact that like he doesn't clean as much as I feel like he should. But he did clean the kitchen last night, and that was very nice. But that's the first time that's happened in like a month. So
right. So that leads me into my next statement. So basically, when he does something once in a blue moon, that makes you the happiest person in the world. When he doesn't necessarily clean up after himself, or something else goes wrong, and you're the one who has to pick. No, I'm not saying this is a bad thing necessarily, but you're the one who's picking up the slack. You think to yourself, why did I marry this guy again?
I tell him that all the time. I said, I don't know why I married you. You can't even like pick up your own trash, let alone like our messes.
And he's the one who has a T-shirt with himself on it and the word trash written all over it. Am I right?
Yeah, well, he is surrounded by trash, so.
Goodness gracious. That's just one too many. Well, hopefully things will improve moving forward. If not, hey, the family that collects together stays together. So you, Chris, and Max, you all seem to be doing a very good job of it.
We collect almost too much.
Yeah. Just be careful you don't have to move out of the house you're currently in and buy an even bigger one.
We definitely upgraded with the size of this house, but the size of this room that I'm in right now does not fit all of our collectibles. So we may have to get a new one sooner rather than later.
Well, as Uncle Scrooge may say this. I'm not sure if he would or not. Save up get your cash money bags, kids. We're going to move into a new place because Uncle Scrooge has too much and I need more room. I'm not sure if he ever said that during the run on DuckTales, but if he did, let us know in the comment section below. So Heather, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I think I may have asked this question to Chris during our episode of And I Quote, which you can find on our YouTube channel at It's Neuroculture. But I'm just going to ask you this. I think I may have asked him this, but I'm going to throw this one out to you. If I have, Chris, let me know in the chat because I see you jumping around in the comment section below. What's the funniest place you've ever fallen asleep, Heather?
Oh, I fall asleep anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you tell us the funniest place you've ever fallen asleep to our viewers?
So this actually isn't that funny based off of the story tied to it, but I fell asleep in a laundry room one time at my dad's house. It was weird. But normally, like, if we're watching a movie, I end up asleep, like, sitting up.
Mm-hmm.
I fall asleep all the time. It's, like, really bizarre. Apparently, like, my mom had the habit of falling asleep when, like, anything is going on. She could sleep through anything.
Oh,
And
wow.
I think that gene was passed on to me.
Oh, my. Okay. Laundry room. I mean, that's probably happened in real life to a number of individuals, and it's probably happened in a number of comedic teen / coming of age movies that I've watched.
Probably. You have a good point about that.
Yeah.
Most likely.
If anyone has a reference as to a certain instance where a character fell asleep in a laundry room or passed out or something crazy happened, whatever it may be in a laundry room, let us know in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. My goodness gracious, I'm absolutely loving this. So the comment section has been on fire this entire time, and we want to thank each and every one of you for chiming in here. So going back here, Heather, I'm not really seeing any questions, but people are giving you tons and tons of shout outs because they love you to pieces. Here's one for you.
Guys.
Bob ate donuts says, I don't have a question for Heather, but I just want to say to Heather that she is the most amazing YouTuber and such a nice and caring person.
Thank you, Tyler. That's so nice of you. That's our friend Tyler from our Gastlecast We Hunt Together Facebook group.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
He's so sweet.
There it is. And then let's see. I believe it's, how do you say this person? Oh, here it is. Michael Petrino says, Heather, you're making us cry over here with your stories. Why?
Was it a bad story?
I'm not sure. It came in earlier. K&L Collectibles says, I love the Gastlecast We Hunt Together group. Always have felt welcome amongst friends since day number 1.
Aww.
Now, that is cool if I do say so myself. And Bob 8 Donut chimes in. He says, the Gastlecast group is, so fun.
I love that.
You're getting more and more props here. Kyle Hobart says, hey, Heather, Toy Box Treasure Hunters, love ya.
Well, I love Toy Box Treasure Hunters.
There you go.
They are an awesome YouTube channel. It is a family, and they do a bunch of Funko stuff, mystery boxes, all sorts of stuff. You guys should check them out. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is a very good point. That is a very good point. There you go. More plugs for everybody. Just saying. Let's see here. I'm not sure what this is referencing. It's calling in one of your videos up to par. Let's see. Tino says, you missed mentioning the podium in your video. What the frack? What is that referring to?
So in the Box of Fun that is coming out next week for fans, they threw in at the very last moment a podium, and it looks like an Olympic style podium where it's like first place, second, and third, and you can put your Funko Pops on it. And we purposely left it out of one of our videos because it was just so stupid. And someone complained that we didn't talk about the podium. So,
well, one of the, I should say more specifically, one of the admins of something known as the Gastlecast, I don't know what the heck that is. They say the podium is such a great piece from Funko, it deserves its own video for Pete's sake. Goodness gracious. And then Michael Petrino is talking more. He says you should stack 3 podiums on one podium. The podiums are just, my favorite. Goodness gracious.
He is a liar. He is a dirty liar. He does not want that podium.
Goodness gracious. Man. And we were talking about how you gave a tour of your home previously. K&L Collectible says the Cribs episode is one of my favorite videos too. So there you go.
We had a lot of fun making it.
Tino also says Toucan Sam video skit that you guys did was good. Is that something you've done in the past?
Yes, when Toucan Sam came out, it was a disaster on the Funko shop. There were so many people after it that it completely crashed the site. You got like a 504 error, and it was just horrible, and hardly anybody could get in and purchase the darn thing. And so we made a skit with our friend Eric, basically us like trying to get the Toucan Sam, and we kept getting the 504 error. And during this skit, we ended up like dropping pops on, like throwing pops onto the floor, and like Eric at one point pushed his chair over because he was so frustrated he wasn't able to get it. And at the end of the skit, Eric ends up getting it, But Chris isn't happy with that because Chris wasn't able to get it. So he like drags Eric up the stairs and says that basically we're going to take his toucan, Sam. It's sort of dark.
Sounds a bit morbid from this side of the fence, but I digress. So we'll have to check that video out at some point or another. K&L Collectibles says the real magic is how Chris got even to the second date. Maybe so. Maybe so. Tino says that's some good magic though, but he's good at Quidditch too, isn't he? Chris is good at Quidditch. I'm not sure where that's going.
Chris hates Quidditch.
Chris hates Quidditch.
Yes. He says, that doesn't even make any sense. I would never play it. And how do you even know who's winning? And why don't they just catch the golden snitch? Because it gives you so many points.
Yeah, especially if you catch the golden snitch, you get what, 1,000?
I think it's something like 250 or so.
Oh, 250,
but he's like,
I'm sorry.
Why bother making goals if you can just catch the snitch? Well, the snitch is an itty bitty little golden ball that flies around and it's really hard to catch. That's the point.
Pretty much. By the way, someone's chiming in from overseas and they say, Tombstone says it's 2:31 in the morning here in Australia. Who sleeps? What sleep? Gee whiz. Or maybe she's referring to this time that someone else fell asleep at a weird time. I'm not really sure.
No, it's super fun.
Wow. Well, this was from earlier, but yes.
It's probably 3:02 over there.
Yeah. By the way, referencing your love for Qdoba, Tino says that whole Jack in the Box Discord thing was confusing. Maybe Qdoba will do the same thing.
I have no idea what exactly the Discord thing is, but I do know that Jack in the Box is coming out with a new Funko Pop, and people were up in arms because a Funko YouTuber already has it. And I personally didn't see a problem with that. But a lot of people were mad about it.
That is true. K&O Collectibles says, I always say this, but I believe you as well as Chris, they just complement each other so well. Isn't that true, ladies and gentlemen?
I think we do.
I think it is. And we talked about the MCU earlier. Bob 8 Donut says they loved the Black Widow movie. Let's see. K&O Collectibles is saying, I'm on 4 hours of sleep. What are you talking about? I just woke up to watch this. Well, thank you for doing so. Goodness
Thanks,
gracious.
Chris.
Man, and then Bob 8 Donut says, I was stressed out that I was going to miss this whole live stream between Ryan and Heather. Goodness gracious.
Well, the good part about YouTube is you can watch later, too. This will be here forever.
These videos and these episodes of And I Quote are not going anywhere anytime soon. And by the way, Tombstone says, I'm looking forward to the film known as Candyman, but I am cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
That's fair. That is fair. That is fair. Wow. How many people live in the 2:30 a.m. time zone? Because Dean Blockley comes in and says, hi, Ryan and Heather. Randomly woke up at 2:30 in the morning. So why not watch this? Laughing face emoji.
Yep, both Dean and Tombstone are from Australia.
Oh, that's where they're from. Goodness gracious. And let's see here. Speaking of the MCU, Tino says Thor Love and Thunder, aka Thor Part 4, which I didn't see coming. Let's go. Bet my friends are down under are anticipating that film. Are you excited for Thor Love and Thunder, Heather?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I love Thor.
Okay. All right. I mean, well, is it because you like the character of Thor, or is it because you like Chris Hemsworth without wearing a shirt?
That is very nice as well, but I really, really love the Thor movies.
Okay. I don't mean to call anyone out here, but sometimes we watch certain properties for other reasons.
It does make it a bit better.
Okay. I'm just asking a question. The mouse that jumped out at you when you opened up the grill. Dean Blockley says the movie Mouse Hunt gives Heather PTSD vibes now. Is that true?
Probably.
Is that true? Oh my gosh. Do you remember that movie Mouse Hunt with Nathan Lane? Oh, again, another movie you may want to scribble down on that piece of paper in front of you. It was a 90s film. It's a 90s movie.
Mouse Hunt. Got it.
With Nathan Lane. Yeah, it's a good one. Let's see here. K&O Collectibles says, I was surprised of how badass Heather's taste is in music was when she chatted it up. Or was when we chatted up, excuse me.
Yeah, it's funny because I like all different genres of music. Like a lot of people do associate me with like metal type music, but I listen to just about anything besides country. I hate country.
Okay, you and I have something in
Hate
common then.
it.
There you go. I dig it. All right. Well, here's a
Ugh.
question for you. Who is one of your favorite solo artists?
Solo artists.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite or any favorites that pop out to you? Stick out
Alanis
to you.
Morissette.
Oh wow, there's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Oh, I love her. I love her so much.
Interesting. What's one of your favorite bands?
One of my favorite bands is Alexis on Fire.
Huh. I gotta say, I've not heard of that one. Can you tell us a bit about them?
They're very heavy. They're from Canada. And I like them because throughout, if you listen to each of their albums, they sound very different. Like their first album is sort of like grainy, and then their second album on is a bit more like fine-tuned, but the style of their music changes a little bit throughout the years. Yeah, I really happen to like them.
Hey, you love what you love. There's no shame in that. Kyle has a question for you. Ask Heather if she makes the pizza dough or uses baboli pre-made.
I do not make pizza dough from scratch. I normally get like a ball of pizza dough from whatever grocery store that I go to if I make it homemade. But I don't think I've ever used the pizza bolies or whatever, because I think it's already baked for the most part. It's like
Sure.
it's already in the shape of a pizza. I like to like shape it myself.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It's fun.
It should be. And another question for you comes in from Kano Collectibles. Are there any other classic Nickelodeon shows on Paramount Plus that you would recommend to our viewers?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. There's Doug, Angry Beavers, Action League Now. That was one that I completely forgot about, with the little action figure toys that, like, when they talk, they just move. They're like this. Hey,
Oh, yes.
we're gonna.
I remember.
That's so much fun. Yeah,
There's some good
Paramount
ones.
Plus is full of the good stuff. Are You Afraid of the Dark is on there, which is one of my favorites. But we had already watched that with Max last year. We bought it on Voodoo, all of the seasons.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, man. I remember a very young and still beautiful Alicia Cuthbert, the blonde from 24. She was Jack Bauer's daughter, and she was also in that movie. What was it called? The Girl Next Door, that romantic comedy with what's his name? Something Hirsch. Emil Hirsch. Excuse me, Emil Hirsch. It was a rom-com, The Girl Next Door with Alicia Cuthbert. If you don't know who I'm talking about, feel free to Google it after the show. Kano Collectibles says, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Clarissa Explains It All, etc., are great shows. Yes, they are. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Come on, Heather. You remember that theme song.
Oh, yes, I do. I used to watch that all the time. And that boy would climb through a window and
Hi,
like
Sam.
nobody thought anything of it.
Yeah, hi, Sam. And then you remember the guitar riff?
Uh-huh.
Sam comes in.
Yeah,
Hi, Sam.
I need to see if that is on Paramount Plus, because that is a good show.
There you go. You got another one right there. And by the way, R. Perez chimes in. They say, with old school Star Trek, the best one he would recommend is Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, featuring Spock, Kirk, and William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy. So Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. If you're looking for old school Star Trek, feel free to look that up. Thank you. R. Perez chimes in with that. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that. And yes, that is in the 10 movie set that I got on Blu-ray, because Blu-ray is awesome. I'm just saying. Yeah, people are chiming in with memories of Clarissa Explains It All. I'm digging this. Thank you so much for adding that in, folks. We really appreciate that, especially when you have a ladder on a window and the guitar riff plays and no one really cares if it's some dude climbing up into someone else's window. They don't even think of it. He just comes in, walks right through, and everyone's saying to him, "Hey, what's up, buddy? You ever heard of it? Have you ever heard of a front door?"
Yeah. Why doesn't he come in through the front door?
Well, do you remember this? Do you remember the series Full House? Kimmy Gibbler would come in half the time. She'd come in through the back door and wouldn't even knock.
Yeah. She like lived
that?
there. Oh my God. Yeah. We're watching it right now.
Are you watching Full House or Fuller House?
Both.
Oh, you are streaming both? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Fair enough. Which one do you like more?
Probably the classic Full House, but I do enjoy Fuller House. But sometimes it feels like they're almost trying too hard. But I do like it.
Yeah. By the way, Tino chimes in with a question. Yo, what's up with all these questions about Chris's cleaning skills or lack thereof? I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting question to ask, and Heather answered it.
Yeah, I can go on all day about Chris and his cleaning. Although he did put a load of laundry in this morning, but he's going to say, like, the next time I ask him, hey, can you do the dishes or something? Well, I did the laundry today, and I'm like, putting it in the wash machine with laundry detergent doesn't count as doing the laundry. You have to see the laundry to its, like, full thing. You need to get it from the washer to the dryer to folding it and putting it away. That's when you've done the laundry.
That's very true. And Dean says, we hope that Chris is okay with being thrown under the bus that Heather just threw him under for the last hour and a half.
That's his favorite place to be. It's home to him.
Goodness gracious. It must be. It must be. My goodness gracious. Let's see. Laundry. Oh, my goodness. Tombstone says, a laundry room. I've passed out or fallen asleep in way worse places than that, Heather. I got one up on you. Okay.
It sounds like you need to interview him and ask him that same question, because I really need to know where he's fallen asleep.
Someone named the Gastlecast says, was that the story that Michael cried about the savage attack on me? Question mark. I don't have the details for that. I'll leave that up to Heather's discretion. Gee whiz. Let's see. Oh, Edgardo says, I'm so happy I joined the Gastlecast. Heather and Chris and the rest of the crew members are absolutely amazing. Aw. I
love that. And we love Ed.
Yeah. No, that's true. There's no question. Oh, here's one. They look forward to seeing you make a video on this, Heather. Can't wait for Heather to rank her favorite flocked bird pops on the podium itself.
I hate flocked bird pops. They make no sense. Flocked pops are all right sometimes, but a lot of them are very poorly done. There was one, it was Tigger from SCCC 2017, and he's flocked, and
yikes.
It just didn't look good. It was a good idea, bad execution, but aside from the flaws in how they look sometimes, I really hate when they flock unnecessary things. Like, they flocked Bulbasaur, I'm pretty sure they flocked Charmander, which is stupid, and they flock birds. And birds should not be flocked. Flocking to me is like hair, and birds don't have hair. Birds have feathers. That's my biggest pet peeve.
Oh my gosh. Birds have feathers, okay? Fabulous, honey. I love the feathers.
They should feather them, not flock them.
They should feather them, not flock them. Can we make that into a t-shirt, please? Please, can someone put that on the Gastlecast t-shirt shop, or maybe on their Patreon as an exclusive?
Oh.
Can we make that happen? Is that a possibility? Is someone watching this? Chris, the admin of the Gastlecast YouTube channel, feel free to write this down. We're giving you free ideas here, brother.
Free ideas.
Or if you want to give me a finder's fee with royalties, that's fine too. I'm not going to say no to a duffel bag full of cash. I mean, Heather, I'm a broke college kid. We can all use the money.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you're not kidding.
I'm just throwing that out there as a for instance. If you want to do that, that's fine. Chris, send me the duffel bag. It's fine. I take cash. You don't have to write me a check. It's okay. It's okay. Speaking of music and musicians, Kano Collectible says one of the favorite bands that Heather also digs is Tool. Is that true?
Yeah, Tool's good. They're not like my favorite, but I enjoy listening to them sometimes.
I think we chimed in on this earlier, but R. Perez says, what's your favorite Alexis on Fire track?
That is a good question. And I love all of their songs, but I would have to say one of my favorites, don't even ask me why, but it's Counterparts and Number Them.
Counterparts and Number Them. All right. All right.
Yeah.
There's a name if I ever heard one. Dean says they should listen to some Kevin Bloody Wilson. Is that a real
Who
thing?
the heck is that? I have no idea.
Kevin Bloody Wilson at Tombstone? Not sure where you're going with that, buddy. I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, who's this person? Oh, yes. Bob 8 Donuts says, Heather, where is hip hop in your life? Who's your favorite hip hop artist, if you have one or not?
Oh, who is my favorite hip hop artist? I love the Beastie Boys. They're one of my favorites. And I love Ice Cube. I love Ice Cube, Wu-Tang Clan, A Tribe Called Quest. They're really good. Yeah, I listen to a lot of hip hop.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
But
fair
I
enough.
also, he's referring to Hip Hop Heather,
Oh,
who
yes.
is a character we've recently done who rhymes every time she's on camera. It's really bizarre. Chris came up with that on the fly, and I just sort of went with it, but I'm not good at that.
No, it's okay. You know what you know, and some skills, we have certain skills that other people may not. It's okay. There's no shame in that. By the way, Dean asks the question, when's Heather going to let Handy Squirrel out of his cage?
Ugh.
Oh dear, where are we going with this?
Chris bought this stupid character. I don't know if you had ever seen him, but it's like a finger puppet.
Mhm.
He has a head that goes on your middle finger and then 4 little hands and feet. And we used to bring him out in a lot of videos. It just became a thing. And I hate that stupid thing. It's so creepy.
Goodness gracious, there are some weird things that go on in this, in the Gastlecast house, or the Gastle Cave, as I like to call it. There's probably too many to count. So, Heather, what are your plans for your podcast moving forward in terms of the Gastlecast or the Office podcast that you do as a spinoff?
The Office podcast, the plans are just to continue to keep watching The Office and keep putting out episodes of that. As far as the Gastlecast goes, anything can happen. We're going to do whatever we see fit. We focus a lot on Funko news, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. And we don't really have any real plans. We just sort of get in front of the camera and talk and hope that things work. And over the years, things change and evolve. So you might see some evolution, or we might be still doing Funko news a year or two from now. I don't know.
That's okay. Just press forward. Keep doing what you're doing, because hey, you all rap.
Hey.
So it's all good. So any other upcoming projects you can tell us about, or give a little bit of a teaser for the teaser of the teaser trailer for us here, Heather, or is that about it?
Well, we do have something that we have been talking about doing for months that we have not done yet. We want to do what we're calling a protect off. So what we're going to do is, we've gotten a ton of different soft Funko Pop protectors.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to test them based on durability, thickness, how well they stack, are they scratch resistant, stuff like that. Talk about price points, and hopefully have some fun with it. We're gonna, I guess, hope that, I don't want it to be super biased, because I don't want to tell people what they should be buying or anything, but I would like to give a nice informative video on all of that, and sort of compare them all. And on top of that, we have something very interesting, very different coming up, something we've talked about for a long time. Years and years ago, Chris made a character called Ghastly. He's this little red demon-looking guy with horns, and he's a lot of fun. We are making him into a toy. And yeah, so we have seen the prototypes, and we are moving forward. Currently, we're working on getting the box perfected, but hopefully he comes out sooner rather than later. We've already purchased our website domain, and we have some shirts on order and some hats on order. So we're really, really excited about that.
My goodness gracious. Well, we cannot wait to see the results of these projects and future products if you will, that are coming soon to a home or a apartment or an office building near you, we do want to take this opportunity to thank Heather Gast of the Gastlecast for being our guest on this week's episode of this week's episode of And I Quote. Oh my gosh, there's so many
You're on the Gastlecast today?
No, we're not. I'm sorry. Wrong show. Anywho, we want to take this opportunity to thank you, Heather, for being with us. Now, where can everyone find you on social media and everything you have coming up? Plug away.
Yeah, thank you for having me. You can find us on the Gastlecast at Gastlecast on Instagram. Gastlecast We Hunt Together is our group on Facebook. You can find my office podcast at The Office Orientation on Instagram and listen to it wherever you can listen to your favorite podcasts.
Well, that is just awesome-tacular. So thank you once again. Thank you so much for being with us here, Heather. My name is Ryan of Nerd Culture. You can follow everything that we're doing here on social media, on all forms of social media, to be more specific, simply at It's Nerd Culture. Check out our YouTube channel if you're watching this video on our channel. We appreciate it. Or if you're watching on the HWWS Web TV, a great group of people over there. Thank you so much. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. And you can find us on every form of social media at It's Nerd Culture. New videos being posted each and every week. And check out my podcast. It's called The Nerdcast, where I review some of the latest movies I've had a chance to see. It's on Anchor, Google, Spotify. New episodes drop each and every week, so be sure to check that out. Give it a favorite, give it a rating, give it a like, thumbs up, all that good stuff. And also, if you're wondering where those questions came from, where's the strangest place you've fallen asleep? What is one thing we don't know about you, Heather? Well, I'll tell you where they came from. This episode of And I Quote, and every episode of And I Quote, is powered by Pod Decks. That's right. Pod Decks are the hottest new tool for podcasters looking to have more meaningful conversations or gamify their podcast. Simply shuffle them up, ask a question, let the content roll. Get yours today at poddex.com. Make sure you use the promo code NERDCULTURE at checkout to get 10% off your order. You're not going to want to miss it. In the meantime, to all of you out there, do us a favor. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay safe, and never apologize for being awesome. Take care, everyone.
Welcome, Glasscock Park, to this glorious day!
Today is your lucky day. We got some great stuff. This is Glasscock Park.
Marvelous!
Thank you.
Come on, let's go! I don't have all day, people!
Now, it's time.
Tell your friends, huh?
I'm GW Pomager.
I'm Dina Marie.
I'm Sage Ia.
I'm Thomas Carter Rochester.
Hey, I'm David Thompson.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Mia.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Hey there, this is Dave Adams.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Rose.
Jerome Conner here.
Hey guys, it's Josh Bauer.
Willow Schuyler.
I'm Cosplay Michael.
It's your boy Country.
I'm Ryan Permison.
And I'd like to ask you guys,
Please subscribe.
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 Subscribe.
Please subscribe to HWWS
Web TV.
Great bunch of people.
and don't forget to smash the bell.
Ring that bell.
Smash that bell.
Hit that bell.
Hit the bell to be notified.
Hit the bell to get notified of new shows.
And videos.
You're going to want to do that, so do that soon. So we can cross that 20,000 mark.
And get us to 100,000 subscribers
To 1 million, and 10 million, and 100 million.
on HWWS.
Web TV.
You really like it, I guarantee.